Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Today is going to start our discussions on the reveals for Anniversary Box 2021, which comes out September 3rd. Today we're going over the SS4 Bardock deck, and I'm super excited for this. SS4 is easily my favorite transformation, so I'm actually pretty excited to play this deck, assuming that it's good. I do have my blue light glasses on because we're going to be reading a lot of small text in today's video, and generally when these cards have a lot of text like this, they're probably pretty good. They probably do a lot of things. So that being said, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video, and if you guys want to help support the channel, you can do so by going to my link in the description to TCG Player if you want to buy or pre-order any of the cards you see in today's video. That being said, let's get started. All right, we got the leader here. Permanent on both sides, reduce the combo cost by 1 and negate the energy exhaust skill of all black multicolor battle cards with SS4 in their card names in all of your areas. So we saw, I think it was early last week, the battle card reveals, and just the other day we saw the leader finally get revealed. So yeah, we know that the battle cards had a lot of, one cost 5k combos. They all had energy exhaust, so this leader pretty much ignores all that, makes them really playable in this deck. Permanent for each card color in your battle area and energy area. This card gets plus 2,000 power up to a maximum of 10k. So you can never be bigger than 15k, which is probably pretty fair for an unawakened leader. But on your first turn, you're going to be 9k because it counts every color, and you're going to charge a multicolor. And then by your second turn, assuming you charge a different color card, you're going to be able to be an 11k leader, and then you'll just keep gaining power from there up to 15. Auto one's card attacks. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 black card with SS4 and its card name among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So you're definitely going to want to take a look at all the black SS4 cards in the game, because there are more than just what we're going to look at in today's video that pertain to this archetype. Funnily enough, though, I think there's some SS4 cards that don't actually have SS4 in the card name, so we're going to have to be looking at that pretty meticulously. Awaken your life 3 or less, or you have 4 or more card colors in your battle area and energy area. You may draw 2 cards and flip this card over. So you could awaken on turn 4 by charging 4 different colors, or if you're playing certain battle cards, you can get awakened a little bit quicker. What's interesting is this doesn't actually take you down to a certain life total if you're doing the awaken the non-standard way of having the 4 or more colors. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Maybe you're gonna want to play like a sparking super combo, possibly, depending on what kind of self-awakening options the deck has or how aggressive your opponent's being with you. Auto with card attacks on the awakened side, resolve the effects below according to the number of non-black colors present among black multicolor cards in your battle area and energy area. Man, that's a mouthful, but you're gonna be able to resolve multiple different autos, which is kind of insane. So 2+ colors, card gets plus 5,000 power for the battle, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. 3+ colors, at the end of the turn, switch up to one of your black multicolor energy to active mode, and then 4+ colors, draw 1 card, then choose up to one of your opponent's using cards and remove a marker from it. So we can see how this leader, firstly, and we'll see the battle cards in the deck, all take different pieces of their respective colors and try to incorporate them into this deck. Like you have the switching card to rest mode, you have untapping energy, you have removing markers from a Unison, all these different things that belong to these different color identities. This is kind of cool. So I'm a really big fan of the leader so far. Let's see some more of the support cards. We have a Unison, and man, Broly here's got some really slicked back hair. That's definitely some thick product he's using. But anyways, we have a 10k X cost Unison, permanent for each marker on this card. It gets plus 5,000 power during your turn. Auto limit 1 if this card has 1 marker. When this card is played, add a marker to it for every 2 multicolored cards in your energy. Activate main -1, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy and send it to the owner's warp. And then -X auto. When your leader is attacked, you may have it gain 5,000 power for the battle for each marker removed from a card from this card with this skill. So I'm not huge on this Unison, not gonna lie. It can gain a certain number of markers depending on how many energy you have charged when you play it, but because of all the different colors you have in this deck, I think your Unison options are very wide open. Like Demigod Unison and Sorcery, maybe the SS4 Bardock Unison from set 14. I think your options are pretty open. So there's a super combo for the strategy. Auto limit 1 if your leader card's black and your life's at 4 or less. When this card's using a combo from your hand, draw 1 card, and it gets 2,000 combo power for the battle for each card color in your energy area. Unfortunately, this card's not very good. First of all, limit 1 is pretty bad. The draw 1's normal, but like you have to have 5 different colors to get an 11k super combo, which like can be nice defensively, I guess, but you have to wait 4 turns for it to really come online. I don't even think this is gonna be the super combo you play, to be honest. SS4's Call, we have a 0 cost extra card, activate main limit 1. If your leader card is a black Bardock Xeno card or a Saiyan with SS4 in its card name, so like SS4 Goku or Gohan, for example, Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add up to 2 black cards with SS4 and their card names among them to your hand, and place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. If you added 2 cards to your hand, choose 1 card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck. So that's pretty nice. You just get to filter the top of your deck, add any cards you see that you need, and if you add 1, you don't have to bottom deck a card, but if you do add 2, you have to even out your hand essentially by bottom decking cards. So pretty fair there. I do like that, and it gives you the options of, you know, not having to minus cards if you only add 1 option. Now we have, for the start of the battle cards, we have the yellow SS4 Gokus. So SS4 Goku Prismatic Burst, we have a 3-drop 16k, Energy Exhaust, auto for a black. If your leader card is a black sand card, it's a total of 3 or more energy between you and your opponent. At the end of a battle, which is a card was used in a combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area in rest mode, then choose up to one of your opponent's Unison cards and negate its skills for the turn. That can be a really powerful effect. Like, think about negating the Boo Unison against like the baby deck, for example. That can be really good. Activate main, pay a black, send this card to the owner's warp, choose 1 black multicolor battle card with energy cost of 2 in your hand and play it. At the start of your next turn, add this card to your hand from your warp. So basically cheating in battle cards and getting recursion, definitely not bad. Then we have the Goku Prismatic Aegis 2-drop 16k blocker. Auto, if your leader card's a Bardock Xeno card, you have a black multicolor card in your energy other than this card. When this card in your hand is played or placed in your energy, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less and negate its skills till the end of the opponent's next turn. So this is the first time we're seeing card effects that happen when they're placed in your energy, as far as I can remember. This is pretty interesting. This is something I thought about for a long time. Like, when are we going to see cards that activate when they're charged? Not kind of like the check lands that just ignore energy exhaust. This is a little bit different. Auto, when this card's played from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, switch to rest mode, and KO it if it's a skillless battle card. Then we have SS4 Vegeta Prismatic Burst 3-drop. Auto, pay a black if your leader's black sand card and total 3 more energy between you and your opponent. At the end of a battle, which this card was using a combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area in rest mode. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less and return it to the owner's hand. So the back to hand removal, not all the best. And then the second effect, activate main, pay a black, send this card to the owner's warp. Choose 1 black multicolor card with energy cost of 2 in your hand and play it. Start your next turn. Add this card to your hand from your warp. So the same cheat in effect. I assume that all the Prismatic Burst battle cards are going to have that same type of effect. And then we have Prismatic Aegis SS4 Vegeta Critical. If your leader's a Bardock Xeno card and you have a black multicolor card in your energy other than this card, when this card in your hand is played or placed in your energy, choose 1 card in your opponent's hand and place it at the bottom of their deck. Then your opponent draws 1 card. Interesting. You do get a little bit of hand disruption and you get to choose it randomly, so there is a shot you're going to choose a pretty good card that they don't want to lose, but they do get to replace the card back anyway, which is kind of just whatever, I would say. Auto, when this card's played from your hand, draw 2 cards and choose a card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck. So basically getting that filter with a 16k critical that you can play for 1, that does kind of sell me on this card. I will say it probably is pretty good, and plus playing, you know, 4 and 4 of these cards gives you access to Sensu Bean, which is definitely going to be a really good thing. Then we have the Gogeta card coming out in the anniversary box. SS4 Gogeta Prismatic Burst 10-drop Quadruple Strike. Auto, when this card's played, resolve the following effects based on the colors of cards in your energy area. Red, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Blue, draw 3 cards. Green, your opponent chooses 2 cards in the hand and discards them. Yellow, choose up to one of your opponent's cards and switch it to rest mode. Black, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and send them to the opponent's warp. This card is, honestly, the effects it does are absolutely incredible. And what's really nice is this is only really weak to 1 color, and that's going to be blue, because they are going to be able to you know, use Godsling Technique Trunks and they get to play this, and you can cheat it in for 5, much like you can cheat in SS4 Gogeta Thwarting the Dark Empire for 4. So with that in mind, it is weak to blue, but this deck does have a fair amount of things that remove Unison markers, like the leader, for example, so that could, you know, help in that regard. This is pretty cool, assuming the deck can survive to turn 5, which in this aggressive format seems a little bit tough, but again, you can still play SS4 Gogeta Thwarting the Dark Empire, which is still a really good card, and that can come down a turn earlier, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this all pans out. Then we have SS4 Gohan Prismatic Burst 2-drop Counterattack. Negate the attack and play this card. When this card's played, you may choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. If you do, your opponent can only attack with battle cards and Unison cards X more times for the turn, where X is equal to the number of cards in their energy. This is such an interesting type of floodgate because it punishes your opponent for playing a monocolored deck. So like, if your opponent's playing mono red, mono blue, mono green, they only get 1 more attack with a battle card or Unison, depending on the number of energy they're playing. If they're playing a, you know, the typical 2-color deck like red blue or some sort of blue splash with some other deck, they get a little bit more attacks out of it. The mirror match, actually, it's funny, this card's not going to be all that effective, but it is going to be effective against the rest of the meta, which is interesting. Permanent, the counter skill on this card in your hand, and there are 3 or more black multicolor cards in your battle area or energy area, reduce the activation cost of this card's counter skill by 1 black. So you do get to activate it for 1 green, which is definitely pretty good. 2-drop 16k double strike on Gohan Prismatic Aegis. If your lead card is a Bardock Xeno card, you have a black multicolor card in your energy other than this card. When this card in your hand is played or placed in your energy, choose one of your opponent's using cards with 3 or more markers and remove a marker from it. So again, if we're talking about like the Unison and Blue Baby, this can be useful in removing a marker from it. When this card's played from your hand, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, one of your costs 4 or less, and send it to the owner's warps. A little bit of spot removal, not bad. I like this card a lot. I could probably see this being a pretty easy 4 of, in my opinion, for how good it is, as well as the Gohan Prismatic Burst. That seems really good as well. Then we have SS4 Bardock Prismatic Burst. So we have a 2-drop red 16k counterplay. Play this card, and if the battle card being played is 20,000 power or less, place it in the owner's drop area. Permanent, if you have 2 or more black multicolor energy, you may add a card from life to your hand. And when activating this card's counter skill from your hand, if you do, reduce the cost of this card's counter skill by 1 black. So a 1-drop Denial of Hope, sign me up. Absolutely sign me up. Denial of Hope is one of my favorite cards of all time. SS4 Bardock Prismatic Aegis, 3-drop 16k unique barrier. If you lose a Bardock Xeno card, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. Auto, if the other card is a Bardock Xeno card and you have a black multicolor card in your energy other than this card, when this card in your hand is played or placed in your energy, choose one of your opponent's battle cards or Unison cards, and it gets minus 2,000 power for the turn for each color in your energy, which on small enough Unisons can actually also act as, removal for a marker, which is really good. Activate battle once per turn, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 5,000 power for the turn. So he can basically just sit there, and every single turn this Bardock can get you some value, which I do think is pretty good. So that's all the main deck cards we have for the SS4 Bardock deck. I'm pretty optimistic about it. I didn't read anything and say like, wow, this is obscenely broken. Like, the leader seems really strong, I will say that, especially because all the effects you can resolve on the backside, and getting the turn 5 to resolve that 10-drop Gogeta also seems pretty good, because again, the only thing it's weak to is really going to be blue. That's going to be the only thing that can actually stop its effects from, happening when it enters play, besides like maybe blue yellow, which no one's really playing Frost Ellie Poison, but I guess they could if that card became super popular. But yeah, anyways, I'm really optimistic about this deck. I do want to know in the comments below what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.